So in a sense, this would be, I say, a way of waging war without getting us to a nuclear threshold or taking the risks that a conventional attack would involve.
It's at the moment, it's a soft underbelly. I mean, Sir Michael alluded to that. Some of the other things, we've obviously got troops in Estonia, we're supporting Ukraine. There are lots of areas that we have looked at. The nature of the threat from Russia is that they are... it's in the nature of an autocracy. They're able to chop and change. They're not so worried about legalities. So they are able to look at it and go, oh, undersea cable's brilliant. That's weak. We can go for that. I was fully in support of the robustness of the response today. We surfaced a British submarine next to a Russian ship to make the point that we were watching them. And so that kind of signalling and robustness is exactly right.
Talking about this defence review, does that mean, Mike, for instance, that we are going to have to think about our defence in a different way? Perhaps stop being a post-imperial power that's sending aircraft carriers to the South China Sea and is involved in the defence of Australia, and start to pull back to this part of the world and, talk about missile defence systems and so on, and be, in a sense, a little bit more selfish about our defence?
I think the big question that this defence review ducked was, do we consider ourselves a global expeditionary power, or are we a power that's concerned with security with allies in the Euro-Atlantic area? And just to look at some of these figures, we're talking about 2.5%. That's an increase of £4 billion of what we spend now every year. That won't do anything other than just plug the gaps that we have. To do Euro-Atlantic defence properly would require probably about 3% of GDP, and that's what we're going to be spending by the end of this Parliament. You can come back to me and ask me on that later on. And so to talk about 2.5%, which is what the government has said, that's the envelope for the review, and it's clear that we're still going to remain a global power. Our carrier group is going across the Indo-Pacific this year. It just doesn't make sense.